All right, let's dive right into this explainer and uncover a really high-stakes mythological operation where the universe itself is quite literally on the brink of destruction. We're looking at an ancient story of cosmic problem-solving where brute force totally fails, and the highest powers in existence have to engineer a highly unconventional, psychological weapon to save the day. It is just a fascinating look at how these ancient texts viewed the power of desire, division, and undeniable beauty. So, picture this. The clock is ticking. The source text describes a truly terrifying scenario, a complete universal slaughter. We've got these incredibly high-souled Rishis, celestial beings, and siddhas, and they are just afflicted with profound, overwhelming grief. They're watching the cosmos being torn apart. Driven by this deep compassion for the universe, they realize pretty quickly they cannot solve this on their own. They need the ultimate authority. So they make this desperate journey to the abode of the grandsire, the highest creator god, pleading for divine intervention before there's literally nothing left to save.
Now, let's talk about the targets, the root cause of all this cosmic panic. We're dealing with two Asura brothers named Sunda and Upasunda, and they are wreaking untold havoc across the realms. The Rishis come to the grandsire and lay out in meticulous detail everything these brothers have done and exactly how they're threatening the very fabric of the cosmic order. The catch here? These brothers are so unified, so powerful together, that a direct, conventional attack simply isn't on the table. You can't just punch your way out of this one. To deal with this completely unprecedented threat, the grandsire convenes what is essentially the ultimate war council. And look at who is in the room. We have the god of gods, Mahadeva. We have Agni, Vayu, Soma, Surya, Sakra. We've got ascetic groups like the Vaikanasas and the Valakilyas. But the absolutely crucial detail here, as the text points out, is their state of mind. These are beings with supreme control over their passions. Their senses and souls are totally restrained. They possess immense tranquility. So the greatest, most disciplined minds in the cosmos have gathered to figure out a battle plan. The room is tense, and the Rishis are pressing the matter urgently. The grandsire listens to all of it, takes a moment to reflect, and settles his mind on a definitive course of action. Resolving to completely destroy the Asura brothers, he doesn't order the forging of a new sword or some devastating thunderbolt. Actually, he issues this exact command: "Create thou a damsel capable of captivating all hearts." Instead of a conventional weapon of war, the grandsire's master plan is to manufacture an irresistible, living weapon of distraction. It's a stunning pivot from physical warfare to psychological infiltration. To execute this incredibly specific blueprint, the grandsire calls in the heavy hitters. He summons Viswakarman. Now, Viswakarman is the great artificer, the celestial architect of the universe. This isn't just a matter of waving a magic wand. This is a highly technical, divine engineering project. Viswakarman possesses the supreme skill required to manifest the grandsire's vision, and he receives this command with absolute reverence, bowing down before getting straight to work. And Viswakarman approaches this with incredible attention to detail. He doesn't just sculpt her, he meticulously crafts her almost at a molecular level. The text describes him first collecting all the handsome features available in the entire cosmos. He takes this massive collection of gems and essentially weaves them into her physical form. He is pulling together the absolute purest, most flawless elements of the universe to assemble a beauty that is entirely unrivaled among the women of the three worlds. Which brings us to her very name, given to her by the grandsire himself, Tilottama. And this name is highly literal. It tells you exactly how she was engineered. She was created with portions of every single gem, but taken in minute measures. Tiny, microscopic fragments of perfection layered together to create a supreme being. She is quite literally a mosaic of the universe's most precious materials, brought into living, breathing reality. The result of all this cosmic labor? Unparalleled perfection. The source material is completely clear on this. There was not even a minute, microscopic part of her body that lacked the wealth of beauty needed to attract the gaze of anyone who looked at her. She resembled the embodied goddess of fortune, Shri herself. She was engineered so perfectly that no creature, upon seeing her, could possibly look away. Captivating both the eyes and the hearts of every living thing was her literal function. So as soon as she sparks into life, Tilottama bows to the grandsire and asks for her mission. "What task am I to accomplish?" she asks. The grandsire's directive is brilliantly clear and, honestly, incredibly ruthless. She is to go to the Asuras, Sunda and Upasunda. She isn't meant to fight them, she is meant to tempt them. Her entire objective is to conduct herself in such a way that the sheer, overwhelming wealth of her beauty forces these fiercely united brothers to immediately quarrel with each other the very second they look at her. And this just brilliantly illustrates the tactical irony of the grandsire's plan. Think about the threat: an unbreakable, unified front of two brothers bringing the universe to its knees. No army could ever break them from the outside. So, what's the solution? Total internal division. The gods are basically using the brothers' own inevitable desire against their unbreakable unity. It is a classic Trojan horse, but instead of hiding soldiers, the weapon is the sheer magnetism of the messenger herself. Right before she deploys to the city of the Asuras, Tilottama accepts her mission by saying, "So be it." She bows to the grandsire, and then she does something very simple. She takes a lap. She walks a circle around the celestial assembly. But this simple action inadvertently initiates the ultimate field test of her capabilities. And I want you to remember exactly who is sitting in this room right now. This is where the unbelievable discipline of the gods hilariously clashes with the absolute perfection of their own creation. The expectation was that these ascetics, who have spent literal eons restraining their senses and maintaining immense tranquility, would remain completely unbothered. But the reality? It was a total, catastrophic collapse of divine composure. As she walks around them, the most powerful beings in the universe desperately scramble and even physically alter themselves just to keep her in their line of sight. Take the great god Mahadeva, for example. He's sitting there, facing eastward. Initially, the text says he and Indra were the only ones holding it together and preserving their tranquility. But as Tilottama walks to his side, Mahadeva becomes exceedingly desirous of beholding her. So boom, a second face, described like a full-blown lotus, literally appears on the southern side of his body. As she moves behind him, bam, a third face manifests on the west. As she completes the circle to the north, a fourth face sprouts. He manifests new faces in every single direction simply because he refuses to look away from her for even a fraction of a second. And get this, he isn't the only one who undergoes a dramatic physical transformation just to watch her. Not to be outdone, Indra, the mighty slayer of Vala, the literal king of heaven, experiences an equally extreme reaction. His desire to look upon Tilottama is so overpowering that he instantly develops a staggering 1,000 large, slightly reddish eyes completely covering his body. Before, behind, on his flanks, 1,000 eyes, created instantaneously, purely for the purpose of staring at this weapon of mass distraction. The entire host of celestials and ascetics utterly compromise their famed self-restraint. They are twisting and turning their faces in all directions as she walks past. Every single glance of these incredibly illustrious personages fell entirely upon her body. In the entire conclave, there was literally only one person who managed to keep his cool, the divine grandsire himself. He was the only one unaffected by the very weapon he ordered into existence. So as Tilottama finally sets out for the city of the Asuras, carrying this unimaginable wealth of beauty, a profound realization settles over the room. The gods had just witnessed their own catastrophic failure to resist her, and because of that, as the text states, all regarded the task as already accomplished. They knew with complete, absolute certainty that if the most disciplined minds in existence couldn't handle her mere presence, the brutal Asura brothers were completely doomed. Seeing this, the great gods simply dismissed the assembly. The war was already won. So as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a final thought to ponder. This ancient text masterfully illustrates a pretty profound psychological truth. It forces us to ask, if even the most tranquil, disciplined, reality-altering gods in the cosmos were brought to a complete standstill and literally couldn't look away, what chance do any of us mortals have against the weaponized power of beauty? Sometimes it seems the most destructive force in the universe isn't a thunderbolt or brute strength at all. It's the irresistible, undeniable, and deeply human power of attraction. Pretty wild, right?